Hi, Professor. This is Srikanth Reddy Gajjala, an international student from India. Now I'm going to tell about graduate project in advanced database systems, which I have done during my first semester under the Professor Dr. Soharamir. Now I'm going to share my screen. My team members are Vijay Babu Gadda, Vamsi Javaji, Baji Babu Kolipara, Alakya Dasari, and Preeti Boretti. And my project name is Student and Library Database. Firstly, the abstract. A library is a collection of organized information and resources which is made accessible to a well-defined community for borrowing's sake. The collection of resources and information are provided in digital format, and this project is mainly to create a database and to perform certain operations. If we take a database storing, it contains like retrieving, updating, deleting of data from database, and it is performed in storing users data and handling the data to be stored securely. And we also use when required without any manipulations of the data. And also it allows the user to store the book details and the student details. And the system is strong enough to withstand regressive operations under the conditions where database is maintained and cleared over a certain span of time. The main implementation of the system is organization will considerably reduce data entry and the time, and also it provide readily calculated reports. This is the abstract. And the main purpose of this project is to create a database and store details of the students to perform some crude operations on university and library databases. The motivation of the project is, while performing crude operations, it helps us to keep data secure, and learning about the concepts of security made me, and which it makes me more interested in learning this subject. And while doing the project, I have faced some problems. For solving this project, I encountered some problems while connecting to the MySQL server, like access denied. For this, I followed this by referring the Google, and at last I come with my own solution. I thought of installing every small part of that belongs to MySQL in my laptop, and I installed each and everything, and I started working from beginning. I have encountered another problem with connecting the exam server. Here I faced one more error when I tried to open the gcstudents.php, getstudents.php for solving this. I referred a lot in Google, but at last I came up with a simple solution where I added a local host in the PHP code, and I even added a and the next is project objective. It keeps track of all the information about the books in the library, their cost and the status and the total number of the books available in the library. The user will find easy in this automated system rather than using the manual writing system. And the system contains a database where all the information will be stored safely. And the algorithm used in this project is, I use MySQL for and connection to the server. I used the exam server, and for library database, I created a layout page by using the NetBeans IDE. And the related work is by using this database to like the CRUD operations which are performed to store the data into database, where tables are created, and this data can be retrieved anytime and make changes as required. With the help of NetBeans, I implemented the code and stored the data in university database. And the methodology I used in the project is, here we use two diagrams. Firstly, ER diagram. It is used in modern database software engineering to illustrate logical structure of database. And It is a relational schema database modeling method which is used to model a system and approach. And this is commonly used in database design. And this diagram depicts the various relationships between the entities, considering each object as an entity. Whereas an entity is represented as rectangular in shape and a relationship is in diamond shape, it depicts the relation between the data object. And the second is schema diagram. A schema diagram is a structure behind the data organization. It is a visual representation of how table relationships enables the schema underlying machine's business rules for which the database is created. And for this, it defines its entities and the relationship between them. It contains descriptive detail of the database, which can be depicted by means of schema diagrams. It's the database designers who design the schema to help programmers to easily understand the database and make it useful. And the deployment, we are planning to deploy our solution by using the GitHub. We are just completed our code, and right now the code is in testing environment. I can host my application, and for this library database, I am not using any server where it is a program, but we can see a page as output. And the evolution is, in this, MySQL provides a set of some basic but most essential operations that will help you to easily interact with the MySQL database. And these operators are known as CRUD operations. And the validation for this project is, it is developed by avoiding unwanted page loading. And the key results is a database was created in MySQL Workbench and the CRUD operations are executed properly. If you take the figure, we can see that the data of the student and its address and the book name, author, what's the author written by the book. And finally, conclusion statement. In this, the SQL database management application, which is very well used in the modern world in organizing and manipulating a database. Though SQL does not have the GUI interface like Microsoft Access is having, they all manage the database. Depending upon the users, if an organization has multiple users, then they should go for SQL Server. And this project shows how to create the tables in SQL and how to create simple data manipulation language. And also it creates data definition language with how to execute them. This project has really helped me a lot to learn new things. I felt a bit challenging. I really enjoyed my learning experience, and I have learned about ER diagrams, normalizing tables, and relationship between tables and many. I did gain more knowledge on how the plagiarism engines work on online. The knowledge gained from this project will help me in upcoming career projects. And these are the references which I have done for the project. And thank you.